Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is Friday, the 20th day of September. It is National Punch Day. I'm assuming they mean like the drink, not like just go hit somebody. National Care for Kids Day. National Fried Rice Day. Our son will probably celebrate, but he loves fried rice and eats it just about every day. National Pepperoni Pizza Day. That's a good one to celebrate. Queso Day. String Cheese Day.
Lots of food today.
Yeah. 4 p.m. Finish Day. So apparently you're supposed to just take off at 4 p.m. whether you're done or not. National Concussion Awareness Day. And if you have a concussion, you're probably not aware of that. And the most important thing, National POWMIA Recognition Day.
Absolutely.
And that is something that, again, super sad that we need to celebrate something like that. It'd be awesome if we didn't have any of that, but we do. So, again, honor those men and women who are POWs and MIA. And I've got a guest joining me today. Nat Segaloff is who I'm going to talk to. He's got a new book out. It's called More Fire, The Building of the Towering Inferno. So we're going to chat about that coming up.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. If you want to be happy, ditch your job and start doing arts and crafts. Okay,
wow.
Maybe don't do that, but it's what a study says. Engaging in creative pursuits boosts your happiness more than having a good job, as long as you can afford to do those things.
Exactly.
Researchers in the United Kingdom say they determined that taking part in what they call creating arts and crafting activities results in an increase in life satisfaction, a greater sense than that life is worthwhile, higher levels of happiness as well. Perhaps surprisingly, the positive effects of participating in creative activities was more apparent than the benefits from other well-known positive factors like age, gender, health, and employment status. In other words, regardless of your life circumstances, painting or knitting or whatever will give you a big boost. So what is your art of choice? Do you have an art of choice that, like, this is what I'd like to do?
Not really.
I love to paint. I like it. And we've been working on a painting for, what, a year and a half?
Well,
we haven't even
worked
started
on it. No, we haven't.
Because Heidi she's like, okay, we got to get this done first, then you can do
We
that
have
painting.
priorities.
She's been holding that over my head for, it's going to be a 9-foot-long painting. I'm so excited. I'm doing it tonight. I'm doing it now. I'm going to just leave right now. I'm going to do it right this... No, I won't do it now, but I'll do it later today. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Hi, did you know that Monday at 12:06 p.m. apparently is the time that procrastination kicks in?
There's just one time?
Well, that's the time when it's the most prevalent, according to Talker Research. 71% of us are guilty of procrastinating. 3/4 of us feel bad for procrastinating. What are we doing when we should be doing something else? Watching TV and movies, 50%.
Mess around on your
Scrolling on our
phone.
phones, yeah, that is 42%. And just lying around, 39%. So if you're procrastinating, come on, chop, get to it. Let's do your thing. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by Radiosavings.com. James Gandolfini's portrayal of Tony Soprano remains one of the greatest TV performances of the last 25 years. But
oh, yeah. Our son loved that.
working on the show day in, day out was definitely a grind. And a new documentary, Wise Guy, David Chase and the Sopranos, Steve Van Zandt, who played Silvo, recalls how the schedule got to him. And he says apparently he would get drunk during filming. So And so if you'd like to see that again, it's called Wise Guy. So that looks pretty good. And did Captain Jack Sparrow spring for an updated smile? Johnny Depp flashed what looked like new pearly whites in his latest Less Than Perfect Teeth, went viral last year. So now it looks like he got a new smile, according to this.
Oh, well, good for him. Yeah. And he could afford to do it.
Depp did not respond for a request for comment for whoever did this story. So he had more to do. And Johnny Depp's career as an artist continues to blow up. The Pirates of the Caribbean star will launch his first immersive experimental exhibit of his work, A Bunch of Stuff. It's going to be coming out next month. abunchofstuff.com is the website. It opens to the public October the 4th. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by radiosavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. A study found that 50% of men said they could not tell you their partner's shoe size. I am one of those men. What do you wear, size 12? Size 15?
I do not wear a size 12, no.
I just wanted to see that look on your face right there.
I'm a size 7.5.
Size 7. See, that was going to be my next guess. 7, is that like the same sizes as men's or women's sizes?
No,
different?
Women's sizes are different.
Okay. So is that like a dog years kind of thing? Or how does that work? Yeah, I don't know. And it seems that every month or two, the major restaurants come up with a new novelty menu item, but this innovation is more about the packaging than the food. Pizza Hut is offering a special box that can be turned into a mini table. Yeah.
I think that's adorable.
Table box folds out into a base that can support a pizza box, perfect for when you're moving. It's time to feed the helpers, Maybe the furniture is not set up yet.
I think that's a great idea.
The pizza chain has made a new table box available with an order of large pizza. It's only available now in Dallas and Charlotte and Orlando, among the top moving destinations in the U.S. The statement from Pizza Hut said, many can relate to the chaos that comes with moving, and the last thing you want to worry about is unpacking to enjoy a hard-earned meal at the end of a long day. I'm going to just share this. We moved in 2022, and the home that we moved into, we were renovating. So we literally did not unpack a kitchen for, 6 months?
6 months we were without a kitchen.
So we demolished and ripped everything out, but we had like a little bar sink, so we were still able to do dishes, which was really hard. You couldn't even fit like all of the plate in the sink. But we had a grill, and we had a freezer in the garage, and we had a mini fridge, and we lived like that. I remember the first meal I grilled some steaks, and we had to eat them caveman style with no silverware because I forgot, oh, wait, we don't have that stuff. So as much as I think this is a silly idea with this whole box that folds out, I think it's a
great idea.
It'll probably do well. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit with Nat Segaloff. He's the author of More Fire, the Building of the Towering Inferno, a 50th anniversary explosion. Nat, first of all, this is a movie that a lot of people would say is one of their favorite movies. So when you tackle a book like this, you got to get it right, don't you?
I tried very much to get it right. Unfortunately, I started off when the film did. I was on the original publicity crew that was defined especially by Irwin Allen and a marketing genius named David Forbes. 5 of us slept all over the country promoting the movie. So I've been with the film since before it opened, and I've been saving stuff over the years, and also really had to have some very good people helping with the research. So I'm proud of More Fire, and I'm proud of The Towering Inferno, which still stands, I think, as the greatest and the biggest disaster film ever made.
Absolutely. And the thing is, any film after that
is compared to that. So when they do another film, they'll be like, well, it's like Towering Inferno with, whatever. So I think that's a good sign when this is kind of the benchmark film, isn't it?
It is. It wasn't the first film. I think the film that people kind of mark everything off against was Irwin Allen's previous movie, The Poseidon Adventure, which let the film companies know that maybe disaster films would work. And then The Towering Inferno kind of capped it, because the movies that came after that, until the invention of big budget marketing and CGI, kind of failed, including Irwin Allen's own film failed after that. So the Poseidon Adventure was the beginning and the Towering Inferno was the end, and both of those are covered in the book.
As you were working on this book, More Fire, again, it's the 50th anniversary. The further you get from the making of this film from back in 1974, is it harder and harder and harder to find things to put into a book like this?
The stuff is there, but you got to dig for it. The real tragedy was that almost everybody is dead who was involved with it. I was fortunate to speak to Susie Blakely, who was this ingenue in the movie, and who is now a well-married woman and very happy and has done tons of movies, and is a total sweetheart to talk to. The other person I didn't seek out an interview with was O.J. Simpson. Do I have to explain?
No, I understand. That makes sense. So the book itself, again, is out right now. When is the 50th anniversary? Do you know when the actual movie came out in 1974? Was it like right now?
Oh, no, I was there for the actual premiere. It opened December 16th, 1974 in key cities, and it went on for quite a while. It became the top-grossing film of the year. And for a budget of $14 million, it wound up grossing in excess of $200 million, which made everybody happy. So it isn't exactly the 50th anniversary, but I decided to get my rear end in gear in case anybody else wanted to write a book about it. I thought I'd, head them off at the pass.
Well, and the nice thing is then it will be available for the 50th anniversary. So when people want to celebrate by watching the film, they can also celebrate by reading the book and watching the film.
But the first time, instead of watching the movie after seeing the book, you can now read the book after watching the movie. It's based on two different novels about a burning skyscraper, but I wrote the book about the movie and the book. And if you want to fold that back upon itself, you're more than welcome.
Now, you had a chance to work with producer Irwin Allen. What was it like working with him? Was he larger than life in real life as well?
I had a very small role with Irwin. I want to be very clear about that, because Irwin was Irwin. He was a very strange man and a very secretive man. His job was to publicize what he was doing. In fact, when I went to research him, and anybody who checks the Wikipedia page will see how hard this must have been, no one knows much about him. He seems to have gone through every piece of paper that he ever owned and purged anything that had to do with his real life. We do know about him that he was born with the name of Erwin Grinovit in New York City on June 12, 1916. But that's about all we know. We know his parents' names. We know he had three brothers. We know the schools he went to. We know nothing about him personally. We don't know if he has any military record. I checked and couldn't find anything. We don't know what he did in between. We know that he was always concerned about making shows, about making himself famous, and he was very good about that. But he created himself.
So in addition to creating these big movies, he kind of created his own persona as well.
He did. He somewhere driving with his cousin Al Gale from New York City to Los Angeles in 1938, Erwin Grinovit became Irwin Allen and never went back.
That is fascinating. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to chat with us about the new book, and I'm excited to read this. This is not only a movie that I love, but my son. I actually have a son that when he was younger, he watched this movie. He loved this movie. I had never seen it until he showed it to me, and he was like 16 or 17. So again, I think it's a fascinating movie, and I know many generations love The Towering Inferno, and I think they're going to love this book as well.
Thank you, John, so much for that endorsement. I appreciate the time to talk to your listeners, too.
Absolutely. Again, More Fire, the building of The Towering Inferno, a 50th anniversary explosion. It's available now, and again, the anniversary is coming up in December, so if you get it now, you'll be all set and all ready. I've got a link to the book in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Most dinosaurs were vegetarians, but they did not eat grass because there was no grass at the time. So they were eating other sort of plants.
Okay.
And I want to let you know that they're also extinct. So what does that say? Okay. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The secret code for unlocking nuclear missiles during the Cold War was 0000000.
Ah.
That was literally the code.
Okay. Oh, it's easy to remember.
And it would also be easy to actually bump the 0 button a bunch of times and start World War III. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Usually a spammer needs to send 12.5 emails to get one response. It's a whole lot of emails, and they keep doing it. So, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Each hair on your ear grows approximately 0.03 centimeters, like 1/100th of an inch per day.
Oh.
And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
About 10% of people are left-handed, but 20% are left-footed. So if you're writing with your left foot, that's how you know you're left-footed.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com. Question, Heidi. 56% of parents feel overwhelmed by the amount of this. What is it?
Laundry.
No. Email from their kids' school.
Ah.
I think we dodged that bullet a bit because email was invented when our kids were in school, but I think they get a lot more now than
It
they
was
did back
definitely
then.
invented when we're not that old.
I know, but they would send notes home with the kids back then. Now it's like, well, just email your parents. We're going to tell them your grades. You don't have to bring that report card.
I don't
now.
read any emails, so it wouldn't bother me a bit.
Probably not. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A couple wanted to eke out some quality time together, but they ended up going horribly wrong when their vehicle rolled into a river.
Oh, my gosh.
Philadelphia police spokesperson said the two were, quote, enjoying each other's company.
I bet they were.
In the early hours of August 28th, before their car entered the water. Police believe the pair was, getting busy is what it says in the story.
Okay.
When the vehicle accidentally was shifted into gear, both were able to escape the vehicle before it rolled into the water. They were unharmed. They've not been identified by police. So, can you imagine how embarrassing that would be?
That would be so embarrassing.
So, what were you guys doing?
Well,
why don't you have no clothes on? They're in the car. We were folding laundry. That's exactly what we were doing. Yeah. Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Time now for the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Happiness hacks backed by science. I got the whole list here from University of Bristol. Conducting an act of kindness. It's true. If you do that, you're going to be happier. Another one, increasing social connections. So if you talk to people, you're going to be happier. Savoring your experiences. So enjoy the time that you're spending doing things, and it's going to make you happier in the long run. Drawing attention to the positive parts of your day. So being thankful for the good things, like 3 good things that happened today, instead of thinking about the one bad thing that happened.
Right.
Expressing gratitude, like writing somebody a letter that you're grateful for the thing that they did. Getting sufficient sleep will help you be happier. Really? Who made this list? Engaging in physical activity, and trying out mindfulness and other meditation practices. So I've got that entire list, which I am very grateful for, in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com radiosavings.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com. Our quote today is from Louis Agassiz. I don't know if I said the name right, but it's a cool name. I kind of like that. Here's the quote. I cannot afford to spend my time making money. End quote. Okay? I don't quite understand the quote, but I do like the name. Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. And I love this story. This is such a great story. 8-year-old girl bursts into tears when she met somebody. Who was that? It was the donor who saved her life.
Oh, wow. I love these stories.
Birmingham, Alabama. Heartwarming reunion at the Children's Hospital where an 8-year-old, Sophie Cromer, finally had a chance to meet her bone marrow donor,
Wow.
Marcy Fulzier, in an emotional moment that left both in tears. The pair shared a long-awaited embrace, a meeting that marked not just the end of a life-saving journey, but the beginning of a lasting bond.
Wow.
Sophie was diagnosed with severe aplastic anemia. I don't know if I said that right. Back in 2022, had only one option for a cure, a bone marrow transplant. After searching for a match, the Cromer family's prayers were finally answered when Fulzier, who had signed up to be a donor 3 years prior, was found to be an exact match. Says the moment she received the news, she said, I was so nervous and I called my dad. He said, pray about it. And I did. And I'm so glad I said yes. In January of 2023, she received her transplant. After nearly 2 years of recovery, she's able to enjoy the simple joys of childhood again. So, again, this story goes on.
That is such a selfless act. I can't even imagine. And from what I understand, it's a very painful procedure.
Well, and the story goes on, and I can't do it justice by trying to speed read through it, but I do have a link to the story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. And I wanted to take the rest of our time right now to encourage people who have maybe considered being a donor to say, you know what, why not? Why not do that? And again, if it's something that has been on your heart, and just like her dad said in the story, think about it, pray about it. But if that's something that is maybe a way that you can do something that would help other people, what a great way to do it. I mean, I think that's a really neat thing. So again, if you'd like more information, I've got that whole story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.